It's Saturday afternoon and the sun is shining. A lot's happened in the last 24 hours. About 24 hours ago, the electrician contacted me to say that he couldn't come back to site until the end of November. That means they'll be away for about 3 weeks. But he has promised me that the job will be finished before the beginning of December. So with the year that Jill and I have had, we've decided that we don't worry about the small stuff. This is small stuff. It'll be done. It'll take longer than we expected, but at the end of the day, there are more important things to worry about. On a good note, yesterday evening, I surprised Jill with a meal in the house. She was somewhat impressed with the level of cooking. The fire was going. It was warm enough in here. I had a few convector heaters in the rest of the house. The doors upstairs were closed. So it was great. We were only here for an hour or so, but most enjoyable. Unfortunately, we were only here for an hour or so, which meant that when we got back to where we were staying, she was able to go onto the internet. And she found a kitchen, at a very good price. So she contacted the person that was selling the kitchen. Lo and behold, we now have spent the morning buying the kitchen and finding a man with a van that can transport it from where it is to where it will be. That's some good news because we've saved a lot of money by buying a second-hand kitchen. However, I'm now faced with the challenge, where are we going to put the thing? There's no room in the garage at the moment, and the garage roof is leaking. There's plenty of other things in the house that need to be moved around. So after I've drunk my coffee, priority number one will be to get a tarpaulin on top of the carriage to stop the rain coming in. And then priority number two will be to get in there and see if I can make some space for the kitchen parts to arrive. If we had some time, life would have been brilliant. Unfortunately, the builder is disassembling the kitchen from the house on Monday, and we need to get it off of the premises on Tuesday. I'm starting work back on Monday, so this leaves this afternoon and tomorrow to make space. Combined with those challenges, we've had lots of rain here in England. So the little lane that leads down to the property is somewhat muddy. The man with the van doesn't think that he can get his van all the way down to the property. So it could be that by the time we're finished on Tuesday afternoon, we'll be very muddy and the movers will be very muddy, but hopefully we'll have a kitchen that's put in the garage that will stay dry until we have the opportunity to move the units into the house. Let's see what happens. Coffee time and then time for work. Still no Danish pastries. Maybe they come later. Well, my job this morning is to open up these doors, get everything cleaned out, or at least tidied up, so that after tomorrow, the kitchen that Jill's bought second hand can come in here, be stored in here for a few days until we can find room in the house. The reason it's going in here first instead of going in the house is that we paid for 2 men and a van for the day. By the time they start bringing this stuff off the van, putting each piece into the house, it'll take up too many hours. So stage one, get it in here, then slower Jill and I can come out and get the stuff. Get on with your work. Go on, off you go. Then we can move it into the house and empty out the garage. We don't want to stay in the garage too long because whilst I fixed the leak on the roof for the moment with the tarpaulin. The place is really damp, and if it stays in there for more than a week or two, then any furniture, any kitchen that goes in there will be ruined. So, on with the work. Right, so there we go. Much quicker than I thought. It's not perfect, however it's ready. Should be enough room in there to get the big bits of the kitchen in. The floor is soaking wet, so I'll use some of the wood that I've stacked on the left hand side and some of this wood on the right hand side, just to space the kitchen units up off of the floor. But you can see up there that the roof is completely sodden. With the tarpaulin over now, shouldn't be any more water coming in. After I've had my cup of coffee, I'll rope the tarpaulin down just in case we get some high winds. But overall, satisfied with the progress. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention was a couple of days ago we had the scaffolders in. Scaffolders up and ready. And on Tuesday, the man's coming to repoint and repair the chimney and to redo the lead flashing around the chimney top. Also, if we get the opportunity, now at the moment Joe's not going to let me up there, but you can see that some of the pointing between the stones has come away. So we'll see about getting the pointing at the higher level checked to see if that's okay. If it's okay, then great. If not, I'll ask the roofer if while he's here, if he's willing to do the repointing up there. The stuff that's down lower, Jill and I will do at a later date. Well, the last few days have been fairly hectic. As I mentioned in the last video, Joe found a used kitchen for a very good price. We needed to come over here and clear some space. And once the space was cleared, the next day we had all kinds of chaos with deliveries. So let me walk you through the house and see what I mean. So the last time you saw this room, this was the one that was painted. We now have massive slabs of granite that are just lined up here, out of harm's way. We have a fridge freezer there. As we walk towards the kitchen, you'll see the challenge that we're currently facing. Our lovely kitchen is now absolutely full of units. So, sorry about the lighting. Pleasant orange glow. You can see the tassels from the bedroom light above. It's dark outside, so this is the best I can do. It was too cold today to sit over at the cottage, so I decided to record the summary from the warmth of this bedroom. Last few days have been really exciting. There's been lots of action. We've made lots of progress. We now, as you've just seen in this video, we have a kitchen that we didn't expect to have, but the price to buy it was just too good to be true, so we bought it. We have so much granite work surface that I honestly don't know what to do with it. It's too heavy for me to lift. It took 4 people to lift it from the delivery van into the back room. It's definitely too heavy for me to do any work with, so I suppose eventually we'll end up selling that. We've placed the kitchen units into the kitchen. We don't have any space. Also, as the kitchen was coming in, I had a man come to look at the solid fuel fire, or where the solid fuel fire will go. That will be the subject of one of the next videos. Electricians, their job will now be more difficult because for the work they need to finish in the kitchen, we'll need to move the units out. All in all though, I'm happy with the progress. What worries me now though is that with the kitchen in place, or roughly in place, it's clear that we have to do the job properly. And the wrong thing to do would be to assemble the kitchen in its final position without tackling the floor. So I've been to B&Q, the local do-it-yourself store. I priced out flooring, and as I was in there, I saw some electric trace underfloor heating that I'll probably install in the kitchen area just to give it some warmth. I know that it's not efficient, but I was thinking about this overnight last night. We had a heating engineer come and take a look at the house. He said that we're talking about at least 10,000 or so pounds to put a heating system in the house. For the moment, I think our decision to stay with electricity isn't such a bad one, because we'll have a solid fuel wood burner in the living room. From what I've been told by the wood burner expert, that will certainly heat the upstairs as well. So then we just have the newer part of the building to tackle. A few radiators in there and some underfloor heating will certainly be a lot less expensive than a £10,000 heating system. And even if we have the place toasty warm throughout the winter, it's going to take a few years for us to end up costing more than 10,000. So for the moment, it looks like electricity is the way to go. Luckily, I asked the electricians to put some outlets for electric heaters in when they did the install, so we're well prepared. In the next couple of weeks though, before Christmas, I've now set myself to target to get the floor down in the kitchen, get the kitchen installed, have a temporary work surface until we're absolutely convinced of the layout of the kitchen, and then once we've decided that the layout is the right one, then we'll buy a proper work surface. We won't be going for granite. This house isn't a house that we want to keep for the next 20 or 30 years. This is a house that we're looking to stay in perhaps for the next 5 or 6 years. So for that reason, we'll go for a more economical version of a worktop, unless Gill gets onto the internet again and finds some granite at a price that's too good to be true. Let's wait and see. Thanks very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye for now.